Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Unwrapping Keepers. My name is Heather Wilson, and this week is a little special because it is week 4. So that means we have now made it a whole month into this series. So I'm so glad that I've made it this far, and I love the support y'all are giving me. Just comments that I'm hearing from, family members or from friends, or just even seeing some comments on social media and everything like that. It is definitely greatly appreciated. I'm really glad that y'all are enjoying this series as much as I am. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm totally digging this food. I mean, really. But so this week, our episode is on the state of Ohio. And the state of Ohio has a lot of different, uniqueness to them. They were originated from, Serbian, descent. And that really actually surprised me from it. And I don't exactly know why it would have, because, America's made up of a lot of different cultures. And that's one of the best parts about this series, is just finding out each individual state, the uniqueness just from that state. So the recipes that we're actually kicking off for this episode, one of them is the Barberton style chicken. Now that is from Serbian descent, and it says I kind of looked it up a little bit so that way I know a little bit more in depth about it. And it said that Barberton chicken, or Serbian fried chicken, is a regional specialty originating from Barberton. And it just goes in to say that there was a diner that was founded in the Depression area, in the Depression time period, by some Serbian owners, and they're the ones that created this recipe. Both the owners were Serbian, and this recipe was actually passed down from one of the owner's mothers. And so that's really unique, and kind of gives it a little bit of down home, family togetherness in a way. So the traditional way of serving this chicken goes with 3 sides. It's got French fries, vinegar-based coleslaw, and a spicy concoction made with rice and tomatoes and hot peppers and stuff like that. So this recipe actually does use some sriracha sauce in it. And so we're going to see how this recipe goes. And the dessert that we're doing is Buckeyes. Now, Buckeyes, those are very common. And of course, that's the state thing from Ohio is Buckeyes. But what I didn't know is that the name stems from Native Americans. They called the actual nut that the Buckeye candy looks like, they called it a hetuk. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing that correctly, so don't come for me. But hetuk, which means the Buckeye, because the markings on the nut actually resemble the eye of a deer. So I didn't know that. And that's actually really, really cool to think about it. But this is entirely American. It stemmed from the Native Americans that originally settled here. So I'm excited to get these recipes started. So let's get into it. Okay, so to start with the Barberton style chicken, we are going to take chicken tenders. I've already taken my chicken tenders. You're actually supposed to take the chicken breasts, 4 chicken breasts, and cut them up into tenders. But I just decided to go ahead and get actual chicken tenders. So you can, if you want to, buy the chicken tenders from that are already cut up, however. So you're going to take these and put them into a Ziploc bag that I've put into a bowl. I'll explain why in just a minute. But we're going to load this bag up with all the chicken tenders. My chicken ripped. So, the reason why I have put them into a bag is because I'm going to take 3 cups of the buttermilk, and we're going to pour it into this bag. And I've got this bag put in this bowl just in case there's any little holes in it or whatever. It'll catch it. All right, so 2 cups in. Last cup going in. All right. All right. Then you're also going to take 2 tablespoons of sriracha sauce. Personally, this recipe does call for 2 tablespoons of it because I do love spicy stuff, but I don't want these too spicy. So I'm only gonna put 1 tablespoon in it. So I've got my teaspoon here, and I'm just gonna do 3 of these because that's equivalent to 1 tablespoon. All right. And then you're going to want to do a teaspoon, or 2 teaspoons, my bad, 2 teaspoons of salt. So I got iodized salt. All right. So while we are getting the rest of this recipe together, we're going to actually put this into the fridge and let it chill in there for about 2 hours. And then we're going to take them out and then batter them. Oh, goodness. And fry them. So I'm going to mix this up pretty good inside of here. Kind of get that sriracha all the way through it and everything. It's already turning a lovely little peachy pink color. All right, so since this is mixed up, I'm just going to let it chill out in this bowl. I'm going to squeeze out some of this air, and we're going to continue on. Okay, so now we are going to make the dip that we're going to dip this chicken in, and I'm going to stick it in the fridge while the chicken is marinating. So what you need is you need a 1/2 cup of sour cream. So take sour cream, put it in here. Trying to get the majority of it back off. I'm gonna do All right, and then we're also going to take and do a 1/2 cup of plain yogurt. So a little bit thinner consistency than the sour cream is. Put this all into a bowl. Then we're also going to take and put, I've got in this bowl, I know you can't see it because it's clear, but in this bowl, I've got a teaspoon of the rice wine vinegar and also a teaspoon of regular white distilled vinegar. And then you're just going to pour that right in there with it. And then you're also going to add kosher salt, keeping teaspoon kosher salt. And then I'm also going to add, I've already chopped up some scallions, and then we're going to chop up some onions. So I've got some scallions right here that I'm going to throw in here. And then you cut up a red bell pepper. I think this red bell pepper is going to give it a lot of good color to it. So you only need a tablespoon of it. So I left the seeds in there, just kind of cut around the stem of it and just got a little tiny piece of it off. So I'm going to chop this up real fine. now that we got all the ingredients incorporated, I'm gonna stir it all together. It's actually got a lovely like array of color in here. It's absolutely beautiful. Like just the purple and the red and the green together. Oh, it makes it beautiful. It already smells pretty good. You can definitely smell the Ross vinegar in it. It's got quite a different scent to it, but it still smells so good. All right, and while the chicken is marinating, we are going to take this and put it in the fridge until time to get the chicken out. And then after we get the chicken out, we're going to get it battered and fried up, and we're going to use this as a dipping sauce. For this step, we've got our chicken that we had in the marinade that was in the fridge. It had the buttermilk and the sriracha and the salt. I took the bag and I dumped it out into the bowl right here. So I'm going to take the chicken now, and now that it's covered in the buttermilk, I'm going to drench it in flour. And this mixture is just flour and salt and pepper. And you just dip it in there real good. And then you're going to move on to your egg mixture. Dip that down in there. Flip that. And now I'm over into panko breadcrumbs. So now that we got the breadcrumbs on there, I'm going to take these, cover them in it, and then after I get these covered, I'm just going to line them up on a baking sheet until I get them all done. And then once I get them all done, I'm going to put them into a pot that I've got with oil. It's heating up, and you're going to want to heat your oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And that will just, once you drop the chicken in there, it'll take about 5 to 7 minutes for it to cook. And you just pull them out, and they should be like absolutely perfect and crispy. And after we get them out, we'll go on to the next step. So I've got the oil heated up. I've actually stuck a piece of chicken in here already. I'm going to let it fry for about 5 to 6 minutes. And once it fries, I'm going to take it out and lay it out on a plate. But I've just got all the chicken right here. They've been battered with the flour and in the egg bath. And then they've got panko breadcrumbs in there right now. So we're just trying to get it fried where it's really good to eat. I expect them to be very, very crispy and everything. It's already starting to turn like I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's starting to turn like a really like pretty dark color. And I think it'll turn out to be really nice. So after we got the chicken fried in this small little bowl, I mixed up some seasonings in it. It's got like cayenne pepper, garlic powder, my bad, and paprika, chili powder. And so as soon as they come out of the oil, I put them into a bowl, sprinkled some of the seasoning on top of them, and let me just tell you, doing this made them absolutely heavenly. I tried one of the first ones that come out, and oh my God, that chicken is so tender and juicy, but it's so crispy on the outside from the breading. And then we've got our dip that we made earlier. I actually ended up taking and putting some sriracha sauce into the dip. And this chicken, oh my God, it is heavenly. Let me just tell you. It is probably the best kind of chicken I've ever done in my entire life. And that's saying a lot because I've done a lot of different recipes. But all in all, I would give this recipe a complete 10 out of 10. So this has been our Barberton chicken with Ohio, and we're about to finish up these Buckeyes, so let's finish this up. So now to start with the Buckeyes, I've got my mixer over here, and I've got the paddle attachment done to it, and I've got our mixing bowl. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take and cream 1 cup of peanut butter. If I can get it out of here. Put 1 cup of peanut butter in here with 5 tablespoons of butter. Now, you're probably going to want your butter to be like room temperature. So that way it'll cream a whole lot better. But if not, you can always just take the butter and just kind of put it up, like cut it up in slices, like by tablespoon, and then put it in here. All right, so we've got the peanut butter in here, and I have pre-measured 5 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to pick this up and put it in here. And then we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of the vanilla into here as well. Once I get this added, I'm going to move over here to the mixer, and I'm going to mix this up. And then once it gets like really, really creamy and everything, we're going to add the powdered sugar in. So now that we've got the peanut butter and everything incorporated together, I'm going to roll them out into balls. We're going to put them on the cookie sheet. And normally what you're going to want to do is about a tablespoon size of the peanut butter. You're just going to roll it into a nice little bowl. With the Buckeyes, to finish off the Buckeyes, I've got bittersweet chocolate to kind of counteract the sweetness of these peanut butter peanut butter balls, the top part of the Buckeyes. You can take and put them in a bowl, microwave safe bowl at that, and you can put 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, or if you don't want to use coconut oil, you can also use like shortening or Crisco, if you've ever heard of that. So I took that, melted it at 50% power every 30 seconds to have an interval to stir at. And so now that it's fully melted, we're going to take the Buckeyes. I've got them on a toothpick, not all of them, but just this one. And so the thing about dipping these is you don't want to go all the way up to the top to cover them completely in chocolate. You want to leave you want to leave a little bit of them to show at the top, so that way it kind of looks like an acorn. So just like that. And we just take them and put them back down. And then cover the top back. I'm going to take another one and do the same. And then pinch to cover. So let's get these done and we'll have it. Thank you guys for watching another great episode. Ohio Buckeyes, the Barberton style chicken, absolutely wonderful. You know, I didn't know that the Buckeyes originated from a woman named Gail Tabor. She just took peanut butter balls one day and just decided to dip them in chocolate, and so I thought that was pretty cool to find out. And this chicken actually, it blew me out of the water with how like delicious it was, and like the crispiness of it and everything like that. Like my mouth is still watering from it, and it's so good. And this sauce, ooh, like it's definitely kicking. So like I said before, thank you guys for watching. Join us again next week for episode number 5, and y'all really need to try these recipes, I'm telling y'all. But thanks.